Good afternoon, students, and welcome back to our online session of our digital signal processing and application class. In the previous class, we have discussed the problem that is related to the bilinear transformation technique, digital band pass filter, Butterworth, using the specification. So briefly we'll go with that and then we'll proceed ahead with the next part. So basically what we have, this is the specification is given, stop band frequency, gain, attenuation is given, the frequencies is given, the sampling we have find t value. This already we have covered, right? W1, W2 we will find lower frequency, upper frequency, W2, and then we can able to convert into the equivalent analog frequencies as omega 1, omega L, omega U, omega 2, and we can substitute all the values. We can able to find all the values from their end. Clear? This is the way we can able to find out all the axes based upon that. The next part what we need to see in that would be the step 2. We already have seen that step 2, right? We are able to find A value and we are able to find B value by using the relation. We substituted these two things and we have taken out of that which is a minimum value, we took it and we are able to find out the order n. After finding the order n, we need to find its gain, right? AS and AP. So AS is nothing but 10 power minus alpha s of dB per 20. So we just want to take anti-log, right, students? So we try to write in 20 log 10 is nothing but the decibel. Decibel we are writing into anti-log so as to get the gain. So we obtain AS and AP both. Then after that we substitute in the n value. What is n? 1 by 2 log of 1 by A1 AS square minus 1 by AP square. For stop band gain square by pass band gain square minus 1 if you do it. If you take log of omega s by omega p, if you do substitute all the values from there, we can able to find their gains as well as the order. Clear? So n is equals to, we got 1.246, the approximately equals to 2. Clear? So we have to take more than that. So that's the reason we're taking. So n is even, so we took it transfer function, we substituted that here with the normalized transfer function h of Sn. So h of Sn is what? Pi of k is equals to 1 to n by 2, 1 by Sn square plus bk Sn plus 1 when n is even, right? So bk is what actually 2 sine 2k minus 1. So 2 sine 2k minus 1 substituted and we are able to find out that answer as well. Clear? So these are the steps we need to consider while we'll able to find out that order as well. Clear? So likewise we take one of the problem, students, one more side so that we can able to find the response of it. So here we are taking design a digital filter using a Butterworth approximation by using the impulse invariance technique. So for doing this thing, what is given? This is the diagram is given here. What is this? Gain of the stop band 0.17783, gain of the pass band 0.89125, and attenuation, sorry, the frequency of the pass band is already given, omega p is 0.2 pi and frequency in the stop band is 0.3 pi. They asked to find what actually, what's the question is here is asking, design the digital filter using the Butterworth approximation by using impulse invariance methods. By using that we need to design the filter. So for that, this is the graph is given. So now what we are doing, first step we have to find the range, right? So we know that impulse invariance method frequency relationship is given by omega is equals to this omega t. This omega is digital, this omega is analog. So while bilinear transformation, the frequency is given by omega is equals to 2 by t tan omega by 2. This is for bilinear. If TS is not specific, consider as 1. So TF is not given, this is equals to 1. We can substitute in that, we can able to find the order. So n is equals to 1 by 2, no, 1 by 2 is nothing but 0.5 log of 1 by AS square minus 1 by AP square minus 1 by log of omega s by omega p. If you substitute all the parameters, your n value we are getting as 5.88. So order always needs to be greater than that value. So that greater than means it's equals to 6. Clear? So always take nearest highest integer value. So that's the reason we are taking as 6. 6 means it's a even, right? So even value, what we can write for that even function, we can write n is equals to 6. After that, what we need to find, we have to find cutoff frequency, so we can apply by pass band or by stop band. So substitute here n as 6, so 2 6 are 12, so 1 by 12, omega p already we had, AP also we had, substitute whole square, we get it as 0.7032. So this is what the value we receive it for cutoff frequency for our filter. So next thing we have to find what? We have to find pole of the analog filter such that we can substitute in the pole formula pk is equals to plus or minus omega c e power j 2k plus 1 plus n pi by 2n. Substitute n is 6 means starting from 0 to 5. All the values if I substitute in that, I can able to find out the analysis of that as well. So I just substituted all the values and I can able to find its relation starting from P0, P1, P2, P3 so on till P5. I found, substituted all that. What is this value we had? Omega c, no, omega c is already e power j, n value is 6 plus 2k 0, so 6 plus 1 7, 7 pi by 2 6 are 12. So like that, if I substitute all the values 7 9 11 all get all odd numbers, so e power j theta is cos theta plus I sin theta. So substituted that, we can able to find the relation as well. So likewise we can able to find all the values. Plus or minus means one value with plus sign, another value with minus sign. If I'll take, I can able to find their answers as well. Okay, that's how we have obtained their answers by using their poles as well as zeros. So poles we found. Likewise we can find the zeros by taking the conjugate values. So we just want to know that how do we get the poles and zeros by substituting in the answer. Then later on what we need to find? We need to find the function, no, system function for that. So that's the reason we are just substituting that and we are able to find the system function by using the omega c power 6 by s minus s1 so on till s minus s3 conjugate. So likewise if I substitute in the formula, I can able to find the relation as well. Clear? So we will see details of it. Good afternoon students. So in the same thing we are going to continue with the function h of s. Here what exactly we are looking for it? Omega c power 5, because how many number of poles we found, students? 6, right? And order is 6. That's what here critical frequency power 6 into s minus 1 and s minus 1 conjugate. This one, right? What is the value? We got the pole P0 minus 0.182 plus j of 0.679. This is the s1. This is s conjugate. S1 conjugate. Similarly, s minus 2 into s minus 2 conjugate, s minus 3 into s minus 3 conjugate, so on. We can write it down the value. What is the critical frequency we got for this? Critical frequency is what? It is nothing but the, what is the value for it? I do have 0.7032. That's what we substituted in the given formula. 0.7032 whole power 6 by s minus s1. So this is why s1, right? So this is one s1 conjugate. So this I can write s minus s1 conjugate is what? 0.182 minus plus j of 0.769. And the conjugate value. So a plus b into a minus b, a square minus b square for the first, for the second and for the third. The 6 terms will reduce to 3 terms. That one if you further simplify, then we can write this one as this. So what is this answer? How do we got that 1.97? That 1.97 we are just want to write in terms of your 0.7032 is there, right? So that we are further classifying and we just want to write it down. That's the reason we have mentioned in this format. Clear? So this is your HK of S. Similarly, I want to find what? I want to find a digital system now. How do we get digital system for that function? By using in Boolean transformation, we can write wherever s is there, 1 minus z power minus 1 by 1 plus z power minus 1 into 2 by t. T is what? We took it as 1. So here we got z 1 minus z power minus 1 by 1 plus z power minus 1 into 2 is there. 2 we are cancelling and we are writing directly as z power minus 1, sorry, z minus 1 by z plus 1. This same factor, if you multiply this whole, if you replace it, further simplify that, we can write h of z as 1.97 into 0.5235 into z power minus 1 by the first factor into 0.29 into z power minus 1 by the second factor into 0.09. How do we got these all? Wherever s is there, we replace this function. At the end, if you simplify it, we can able to find the transfer function. So already I have shown you how to simplify the function. So that's the reason I'm just directly mentioning this value. Clear? So this is the complete one. If you want to represent the system by using the cascade form or a parallel form, if asked to find, we can able to substitute. How do we design that? Basically, we know the designing part, right? Already we have seen the realization for that particular thing by using the cascaded form also we have seen. That's what I directly show you how we realize it. Here we do have realization, just a moment. Here we just already did some problems, so that's what we escape it so that you can understand it. The idea should know it. What are the things and what are the steps you have to do it in order to realize the functions. Yeah, this is the structures. You already have seen the structures, right? How do we obtain the complete answer? So by using this parallel structures, no? So this structures is what? Whatever the value first we will have, we'll write on that one. and the second also we will write. If it is a parallel direct form 2, we can do with this. Direct form 1 is this upper one. So we did some problem related to that. That's the reason we are directly mentioning the answer, and that will be practice for you to do it so that you can get the concept of it. So till now we have covered Butterworth and Chebyshev for low pass, high pass, band pass filter as well. That means that Butterworth approximation technique as well as Chebyshev technique by using bilinear transformation and impulse invariance techniques both has been obtained. Clear? So this is the way we can able to write the answer for it. Next thing we have to see the next concept related to the same methods. So if you want to practice, you can practice this problem. Given for a low pass Butterworth filter, AP is -1 dB decibel it is. So what we will write, 10 power -1 by 20. That will be in terms of radians per second, right? We have to do that. AP and AS both are in decibel. So this is what A power this -15 by 20. 10 power minus 15 by 20. If you do it, we can able to find that pass band frequency is 0.2 pi, stop band frequency is 0.3 pi. So what they asked to find order and pole location. So order is 0.5 or 1 by 2 log of 1 minus AS square minus 1 by 1 by AP square minus 1 by log of omega S by omega P. If you do both the things, we can able to find the answer for that particular wave. Okay, then we can able to find its transfer functions. How do we take the frequency transformation? That is very, very important. So we already have shown you when we take low pass filter, S by omega P or omega S. Similarly for high pass also we have seen band pass and band stop. Similarly, we'll directly move ahead with the problem. How do we design the problems? That is important. So these are the problems you can practice for the second one. What you can use it. Design a second order band pass filter, Butterworth filter whose pass band is in hertz, right? You have to convert in radians per second, so that we can do it. Similarly, we do have next part. It's also given and sampling also given. We have to design it. Similarly, next we are proceeding with FIR filter designing. Very, very important. That's the unit 4. Unit 4 part 2 is this. Okay. So feature of FIR filter. So basically, what is this? FIR is all about, students. It is a finite impulse response filters. So what is FIR filters? Is always it's a linear phase response filter. It specifies that the signal in the pass band will suffer no dispersion. Hence, when we want to use the user to wants no phase distortion, the FIR filters are preferable over IIR, because whenever we see any kind of linear response, we always try to move ahead with the FIR filters. Hence, when the user wants no phase distortion, the FIR filters are preferable over IIR filters. The phase distortion is always degrades the system performance. Whatever the system performance we do have, is going to change it. In various applications like speech processing, data transmission over long distance, FIR filters are more preferable due to their characteristics. So the characteristics is what they are: linear, they have finite magnitude, they are impulse, and they are realizable. Everything we have seen that one. So only the thing how to design, that is very important, that we are going to see. So what we have seen till now, we said that FIR filters, whatever the FIR filters is there, it's all are what? All are right actually. What we said that it's a reliable in various applications like speech processing. FIR filters are used. Data transmission over long distance, FIR filters are more preferable due to the characteristics as well. We can able to go ahead with FIR filters. FIR filters are most stable as compared to IIR. Why? Because there is no feedback nature. Here there is no feedback is there. That's the reason the FIR filters are more stable as compared to the IIR filters. Quantization noise can be made negligible in FIR filters due to their sharp cutoff FIR filters that can be easily designed. Okay, that is also one of the things. One thing, what is the disadvantage of FIR filters are, students? So they are highly ordered when compared to the magnitude and response of IIR. IIRs are not that much higher orders. Here we get less when compared to the IIR. IIR can take lower orders, like, and we solve a problem so many, we'll take in points only 1.2, so we take it as round off as greater than integer, that is 2, 6, like that we can obtain. But in FIR, the orders are very high when compared to the IIR. And the question they can ask you, why FIR filters are always stable? Reason for that, we have to prove it. This question. What is the question of our? Why FIR filters are stable? Reason is what? So basically, what is our formula for a differential equation of FIR filters? Difference equation. Y of n is equals to summation. See here finite, no? That's the reason we are not writing minus infinity to infinity. Here we are writing 0 to m minus 1 bk x of n minus k. That we took it. And what is coefficient of BK here, students? It's related to the unit sample response. NR, h of n is equals to Bn for what is the small value of n? It's lying between 0 to m minus 1. If it is this range, this answer is Bn is equals to 0 otherwise. This is for unit samples response. Clear? Similarly, we can expand this equation as y of n. If you want to write output y of n, what are the values we can substitute? We can substitute 0, put b is equals to 0, b0, x of, what is k value 0, x of n. Like that, b1, x of n minus 1, b2, x of n minus 2, so on. Last value, m minus n. So m minus n, put n, m is equals to there, we can substitute x of n minus m plus 1. So this is the expansion, no? If you want to find system of that one, how it is going to obtain the stability of that? So if the system produces bonded output for every bonded input, means BIBO, bonded input, bonded output. If you're getting this thing, then we can say the system is what? Stable, right? The system is stable only if and only if system produce bonded output, this one, for the every bonded inputs. If we are getting this kind of thing, then we can say the system is stable for the any system definition. So that's what, if I substitute the value like so on, if infinity, we don't have infinity to m minus 1, obviously my output y of n depends upon h of n. So h of n, b0, b1, b2, b3, so on, they are stable. There's the reason we can say y of n is bonded of input, x of n is also bonded. This means FIR filter produce bonded output for every bonded input. Hence, FIR systems are always stable. Hence, proved. So what is the thing they asked to prove? Why FIR systems are stable? So what is the condition for its stability? There should be a bonded output and bonded input must be there. If we are getting this kind of thing, then we can say that is what? Stable. Next thing, difference equation for FIR filters of length m is given by this formula. We put the coefficient of BK by using unit samples response, and then we found expansion of it, then we can realize this function. Clear? Next property of it is what? Symmetric and anti-symmetric FIR filters. So symmetricity and anti-symmetricity of FIR filters that can be designed by using this response. H of n is equals to h of m minus 1 minus n. For that, if we are getting this one, this is what? Symmetric. Anti-symmetric means h of n is negative of that answer. Means it's a reverse of it, vice versa for it. Then it is anti-symmetric. Then how do we obtain FIR filter designing method, students? First is by using Fourier series method. Second is windowing methods. Most important thing we are dealing with this chapter. In this chapter we are completely understanding the windowing method only. Our main concepts of designing FIR filters by using window, starting from Hamming window, Hanning window, Kaiser window, Bartlett window, nothing but triangular window. Already in the introduction of the class I have said you first lecture of our digital signal processing and application class I have teach you about it, right? So those techniques we have to use it, and by using those techniques we can able to realize the function as well. So that's what we are just saying for that particular answer, as windowing techniques is most important and very helpful for us for designing as well. Clear? That's for FIR filters are more realizable. First thing what you have to understand, these are the method, students. So DFT, discrete Fourier technique also we can use, inverse discrete technique also we can use, frequency sampling method nothing but IDFT or IFT. Next thing we have to understand, in 2 marks they'll ask you define Gibbs phenomena. What is a Gibbs phenomena? So see here first. So by using the Gibbs phenomena, we are considering an ideal low pass filter with frequency response as shown in the figure with normalized angular cutoff frequency of omega c. As you can see, what is the type of filter I am considering, students? It's a low pass filter, right? If I want to find its angular frequency response, angular cutoff frequency, I am putting as what? Omega c, right? For positive side it is plus omega c, negative side minus omega c, right? This is my responses there. If I want to write the same one by using the impulse response for this ideal low pass filter, I can represent in this way. This is my major lobe. These are called side lobes. So in the major lobe, my information is there, no? Basically, what is low pass filter? We know that low pass filter is what? It allows the lower frequency component, it attenuates the higher frequency component. Clear? So that's what I am saying. I am using a low pass filter and I am using its impulse response of ideal low pass filter. This is the impulse response of ideal low pass filter graph. Clear? If you want to use the Fourier series method, that can be used for the summation for minus infinity to infinity, that we can be use it, and for taking the limitation of index value that can be changed from minus q to q, and the oscillation of that will be observed from there. As you can see now, starting from minus infinity to infinity is oscillating, and this response is h of n. If you want to understand the filter, that must be a finite, right? That's why it is a finite response is there. These are what negligible because we cannot able to see any information in the side lobe. Only the main lobe that produces the information. Next, consider an example for this. This part we are not having. We are proceeding directly with windowing technique. So only just to explain you, I am just showing you how the response can be getting. So basically, if you consider an example of low pass filter which have desired frequency response hd of omega. This is what omega. This is a digital, right? Previously on what we have seen, that is analog, right? As we have seen here, h of what is written here, n. It's number of samples. And what is the frequency we have seen for this? Omega. This is what? Angular cutoff frequency. Analog part of it. What about this one? This omega. So this is what? What is this? It is nothing but desired frequency response of our filter, low pass filter. If you want to see this oscillation or ringing is generated because of the side lobes in the frequency response, omega of omega, w of omega of the windowing function, this is called as Gibbs phenomena. So they'll ask you for sure in 2 marks, explain the Gibbs phenomena. You have to draw these graphs and you have to explain these points. What are the points I have just now said you? Clear? So you need to note it down these points whenever they'll ask define the Gibbs phenomena. What is the Gibbs phenomena? It is a method in which we are using any kind of response. I am considering example of low pass filter. It's impulse response, and if you want to see the oscillation or ringing of that one in the band edge of the filter, that band edge of the filter, if you want to see the response of it, these are the response. So M is what? Finite, no? Because the name itself, it is used for finite impulse response. For that particular reason only, we are saying it is a finite type of filter. Clear? So we have to see that one as well into the consideration whenever we try to design that filter. This is windowing technique, W of n. Let us see the meaning of that. What is the windowing technique is all about? So windowing technique is the quickest method. It's very important and very easy as well. Only thing is depends on only a formula for all different types of windows. So windowing technique is the quickest method for designing finite impulse response filters, because a window function is simple truncate. Truncate means it is try to reduce it, thus the infinite to the finite samples. It can going to reduce it. That is called truncation. Suppose for example you had response from minus infinity to infinity, that you are truncating into minus omega c to omega c. This is called truncation. The whole samples we are using a part, we are reducing the size of that signal, right? So what is the use of the truncation? Here it says windowing technique function simply truncates the ideal impulse response to obtain a causal finite impulse response approximation that is non-causal and infinitely long. The smoother window functions provide higher out-of-band rejection in the filter response. So, however, this smoothness comes at the cost of wider stop-band transition. That should be the wider transition must be there in order to achieve this kind of thing. Clear? That's just very easy and very quick as well. Various windowing method attempts that to minimize the width of the main lobe, that is the peak of the frequency response, in order to find the attempts to minimize the side lobe ripples. So what are the side lobe? I said no. What is the side lobe we have in this? These are my side lobes. Starting from here, these are my side lobes. I can able to obtain it. So based on that, students, so these are my side lobes is there. So the side lobe is going to not take any response. Only the information is there in the main lobe. That's what we are saying. The information, whatever we are saying, we try to reduce the side lobes. In addition to minimize the side lobe ripples of the frequency response, we are mainly concerned with our windowing techniques. Clear? That's a very important point that you need to remember. What is the addition thing? Why we are going with windowing techniques? If they ask, it never asks, but if you in order to understand that why we are going with windowing techniques, the reason is that first type of windowing technique is the rectangular. That is the first type of windowing technique we are going to learn. Basically, what is a rectangle? You know, rectangle means length into breadth. Opposite sides are equal. That is what rectangle figure, right? So what is a rectangle is all about? As you can see, if I had amplitude as 1 and so on till n number of infinity is there, if I do have a ripples, the rectangular window is defined by the following relation: is equals to 1, 0 less than or equals to capital N number of samples is equals to 0 otherwise. See, so this is my rectangular window now. This and this sides will be equal and opposite sides are equal. Whatever the value of samples I am using, based on that I am going to take it the value. Next is triangle. Triangle means what? So how do we get a triangle figure? The main thing, the rectangle, what we understand, Rectangular window is the most basic windowing techniques methods. It is does not require any operation because its value either be 0, this value is higher will be 0 or it can be higher will be 1. It creates an abrupt disconnectivity that results in sharp roll off but large ripples. So the disadvantage of rectangular window is this only, take more number of ripples. That's the reason most probably will not proceed with the rectangular window. Second part of window is what? Triangular window. The computational simplicity of window is this, that is, if you had any kind of windowing techniques like triangle means this is a triangle only now students. What is a triangle means? See, this is, and how many number of samples I'm using? 31. So middle will be 0 to 31 means 32. So middle will be at 30, 16. But here we'll take it as n minus 1, 15. Clear? This is my middle. This is my triangular window. Triangular window, one more name is called Bartlett, B-A-R-L-E-T, Bartlett window. The other name for triangular window. Clear? The computational simplicity of this window is that it is a simple convolution of two rectangular windows. If you take a convolution of it, and it can also lowered. What is the problem with the rectangular window? The side, the lobes, whatever we had, ripples are more. That we overcome by using the triangular window. Triangular window, what we are saying, the lower the side lobes, make it a viable alternate to the rectangular window. Means it's a better opportunity, better experience when we get it in triangular window when compared to the rectangular window. Clear? That's how we have just mentioned for the triangular window. Next kind of window is what? Kaiser window. So what is the Kaiser window is all about? Why we are going with the Kaiser window? What is, one we had rectangular window where already we had a triangular window. What is the use of the Kaiser window? So you see the advantage of it. This windowing methods is designed to generate a sharp central peak. This is the central peak should be very sharp, and it has reduced side lobes and transition bands into a narrow end. That means whatever the side lobes are there and the transition bands are there, that can make narrow, that can make a steeper one when compared to the other kind of filter designing windowing technique. Only in Kaiser it is possible. That's what the commonly used in FIR filter design is Kaiser window. So as you can see, if it's n is equal to 31 samples and m is equals to 15, this is the middle one, so we can go with that one. Another type of window what we are learning is Hamming window. So what is the Hamming window advantage of using as compared to the other type of it? This windowing method generate a moderatively sharp central peak. Whatever the peak value we are seeing, that was very sharp when compared to the other end. See, sharp means see, somewhat it was broader when compared to this one. As you compare with the previous one, the kind of area what we see in the major lobe is increasing as we keep on proceeding with the next part. See, Hamming window, what is the use of Hamming window? This method to generate a moderatively sharp central peak. It has ability to maximize flat response, make it convenient for speech processing filter. So most important thing in the speech processing filtering method, we proceeding with the Hamming, H-A-M-M-I-N-G, Hamming window. Clear? Next type of windowing technique is nothing but the Hanning window. So basically, what is the use of Hanning window? This windowing method generate a maximum flat filter design. See, more space is there, no? This broader end, as you can see with Hamming and Hanning. Hanning has more as compared to the Hamming, and then compared to the Kaiser. So you see the area of this graph. This graph, how the graph is changing, that is important, right? Next is Hanning window. In Hanning window, this is used to generate a maximum flat filter design. For flat kind of filter designing, this Hanning windowing technique is most preferable. So till now, how many type of window we learned, students? Rectangular window. Rectangular window is the one which can have more. The problem with the rectangular window is that it has more number of ripples in that. That can be overcome by using the triangular window. Then triangular, what is our thing? What we need to see? We have to see the filter designing. But what is the main thing? What we have seen in the triangular window? We said that in a triangular window, it is simple convolution of two. If you do two rectangular window, then if you do the convolution for that, then the lower, whatever the side of the problem is there, that can be overcome by using the triangular or Bartlett, B-A-R-L-E-T, Bartlett window. Next thing, what we have proceed with that is the Kaiser window. What is the use of Kaiser window? This windowing method is to generate the sharp central peak. Central peak should be very sharp, and it also reduce the side lobe and transition band to the as narrow as possible. That's what this is be used. The next we move ahead with the Hamming. It is also used for central peak sharp. If they ask to compare these all, you can write those points. That's the reason I'm keep on stressing more on that, so that you can understand that how we are designing this. The next part of windowing is nothing but Hanning window. This method is to generate the maximum flat filter design. Okay, for that particular reason, we are proceeding with the Hanning kind of window. Clear? So Hanning window, Kaiser window, and all that we have move ahead. Then the mathematical formulas, very important. The formulas to memorize. If you know the formula, then only rest of the part we can use it for our designing. So that's what it's important for us to understand how this is going to be used. First, rectangular window. What is a rectangular window formula? It's always 1. There is no nothing was there, cosine, nothing is there. Only this 1. That is rectangular window, because the gain of that will be taken as 1. For Hanning window, what we see? 0.5 minus 0.5 into cos of 2 pi small n. N is a variable, n is a number of samples, minus 1. Same. But see here this coefficients. 0.5, 0.5. So if you add 0 plus 0, 0.5, 0.5, it should be 1. You're getting 1 now? That's how it is changed. And what is a Hamming window? Same thing, 0.54 plus 0 minus 0.46 into cos of 2 pi n by small capital N minus 1. If you add 54 and 46, it will be 100 only now again. That's how it will be taken. And then next is Blackman window. Blackman window, one of the window we do have. So that is also use the formula 0.42 minus 0.5 cos of this plus 0.08. So take 42 plus 8, 50. 50 plus 50, 100. That is nothing but 1. Clear? So one term minus 0.5 with this cosine term, another with plus same cosine term. Clear? So these are the formulas for our windowing techniques that will be useful for us to design it, and we can able to understand how it is effectively going to use it. These techniques are very important in order to understand the functions. Clear? So we have to know this all, then only we can able to proceed ahead. That's it about today's session, students. In tomorrow's sessions, we are going to learn in details of it and the problem as well. Thank you so much. Be safe. Take care of yourself. Try to maintain a running notes as the exams are approaching. So try to do lot of problems. If you do it, you get the idea. If you won't do it, if you try to skip it, then definitely you won't clear this subject. This digital signal processing and application is somewhat mathematical. It's completely based on your knowledge, based on your practice. If you practice more, you will get that much easier. That kind of problems you can able to catch it. That's the things I just want to tell you. Take care and just make a note of everything. Whatever you see, try to keep the notes always. Have a great day. Goodbye.